Narrative teaching here from the Talmud, the Sabbath, Lamed Gimel on the base, so 33b. Because today is Lag Bomer, when we celebrate Rebbe Shimon ben Yochai. It's a very famous story about Rebbe Shimon ben Yochai. Why is Rabbi Judah called the first speaker in every place? The Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon, Yosef, Yehuda ben Gerim Gabehu. So it says there were three rabbis who were sitting: Rabbi Judah, Rabbi Yosei, and Rabbi Simon. And also there was another man, Judah, the son of Gerim, who was sitting by them too. So Rabbi Judah opened up the conversation and said, "Look how nice are the deeds of this nation, the ancient Romans. Tiknu shvakim, tiknu ksharim, tiknu marchatzois. They made marketplaces and bridges and bathhouses. Rabbi Yossi Shosak, Rabbi Jose was quiet. Nasser Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Bomer, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Rabbi Simon, son of Yochai, answered up and he said, Kol ma shetiknu letiknu letzorech atzman. Everything they made, they only made for themselves. Tiknu shvakim leishem ben zoynis. They made marketplaces to put for sin. They have bathhouses for their own enjoyment. And they put bridges so they could collect tolls. So this Judah, the son of Gerim, he went and told the words, told over what happened and reported to the government. So the Roman government said Judah, who spoke in a positive way, will be lifted up. Rabbi Josi, who's quiet, he should be exiled to Zipporia. Shimon Shekina Yehareg. Shimon.
I still have my carries.
Yeah. So Rabbi Simon, who spoke negatively, will be face the death penalty. Azul hu obrei sheibe midrasha. So Shimon and the son of Elazar went and hid in the synagogue, in the study hall. Kol yoyma havamasi aleilu lebesu rifta v'chuza d'maya v'charke. So every day, his wife would bring some bread and some water. And they would eat. But when they saw that the decree became very strong on them, he told his son, women can get very nervous. Maybe they're going to torture the wife, and then they'll reveal where they are. So they went and hid in a cave. A miracle happened that a carob tree grew. All of a sudden, even though a carob tree takes 70 years to grow, it grew immediately. And the water, a fountain of water, like a well. So what they would do is they would take off their clothes and they'd bury themselves up to their necks in sand. And all day they would study. When it was time to pray, they would get up and put on their clothes and pray. But they would take their clothes off because they knew they'd be there for a long time. They don't want their clothes to wear out. They lived for 13 years in the cave. Elijah came, the prophet Elijah came, and came to the door of the cave. Elijah the prophet said, who's going to tell Bar Yochai that the Caesar died and his decree has been cancelled? So they left the cave and they saw people who were tilling the land and planting seeds. So Shimon said they're abandoning eternal life and working in temporary life. Any place where they looked got burnt up immediately. They had a superpower like that. So a voice came down from heaven and says, "You left the cave just to destroy my world? Go back to your cave." So then they spent, not this time 12 years or 12 months, a year in the cave. So they said that the wicked in purgatory only suffer for 12 months. So a voice came from heaven and said, "Go leave your cave." Rebbe Shimon. So Rebbe Lazar was still damaging the world with his vision, but Rebbe Shimon then would look and he would heal it. So Rebbe Shimon said, "My son, it's good enough that the world has me and you in it. We don't need to make the whole world into saints." So it came, it was a Friday evening. He saw a certain old man who was holding two bundles of myrtle branches, and it was twilight time. So they asked this old man, "What do you need these myrtle branches for?" He said, "They're in honor of the Sabbath, they smell nice." What do you need two for? Isn't one enough? Chad keneged zochar, v'chad keneged shamar. So the answer is one corresponds to remember the Sabbath, and one corresponds to keep the Sabbath. So he said one corresponds, because in the Ten Commandments there's two different versions of the Ten Commandments. In Exodus it says remember the Sabbath, in Deuteronomy it says keep the Sabbath. Amalei Levrei, so Rabbi Simon said to his son, he said, "Look at how much the Israelites treasure God's commandments." So they calmed down and they weren't attacking the world anymore. So it says that Rabbi Phineas, the son of Jair, who was the son-in-law of Rabbi Simon, he heard this and he went to go greet him. So he went to the bathhouse and he saw how his skin, his flesh was all destroyed from spending 13 years buried in sand. So he was crying and the tears were falling into the cracks in the skin. So Rabbi Phineas said, "Woe is me that I see you like this." So Rabbi Shimon said, "No, it's good to be seen. I'd rather you see me like this and I'm alive, rather than if you wouldn't have seen me at all, if the Romans would have killed me." So what happened? That Rebbe Shimon and Yochai would ask, he would ask a question.
The end of the Civil War was near when quite accidentally a hero who sneezed.
So Rebbe Pinchas ben Yair would have 13 questions. So Seif Keva Maksha Rebbe Pinchas ben Yair Kushya have him correctly Rebbe Shimon Yochai Esrim Bar Purke. But in the end, when Rebbe Pinchas Yair would ask a question, Rebbe Shimon Yochai would answer with 24 responses. Amar Hoylvis Rechish Nisa, how you doing? Izel Va'askin Milsa. So he says, since a miracle was done for me, let's go. No, it's all broken. How do I pause this? Since 13 years. So he said, since the miracle was done for him, he should go do something. It says that Jacob came back perfect. That Jacob was perfect in his body, perfect with his money, perfect with his studies. And and he sought the grace of the leaders of the city. Amar Rav Matbea Tikkun Lahem. So Rav said that he established a currency for them. Shmuel Amar Shvakim Tikkun Lahem, and then Shmuel said that he made marketplace for them. And Reuven said he made bathhouses for them. Amar Ika Milsa Devoilas Kone. It's interesting. Those are the same things that they were talking about at the beginning of the story. So he said, "Is there something to fix?" Amar Le Ika Duch to the east base fake tumor. East Lutzar Kehan Kofe. So he said there's a place that they're not sure if there's a cemetery there, and the priests can't go there because the priests can't go to the cemetery, and they can't walk through there. Amar Ika Inish the other this Chazachata Tahara says there's someone who knows whether it's pure. Amar Le Osavi. He said that old man there. Kankitzis ben Zakei Turim Say Truma. He said over here Yochai ben Zakei, who was a priest, would plant truma lupines. I guess it's time to go. Abadiu Nami Hafi did the same. So if the ground was hard, he would say it's pure, and if it was soft, he would mark as the cemetery. Amar Husavatir ben Yochai basic forest. So an old man said, Rebbe Shimon Yochai purified the cemetery. Amar Hisi Manu. So even if I wasn't with you, and even if I was with you, you're saying God actually but don't women of a certain profession, even if they're rivals, they'll make each other's makeup. So all the more so the sages. He looked at him and he died. Then he said Judah, son of Ger, made all the promises. He's still in the world. He gave him his eyes and he became a pile of bones.